Hey, so a few years ago, when I was just trying to dig in to discover my why, discover what was my purpose. And as I was digging into that, I actually went to an interview. And what the interview um, person told me at the end was the reason I didn't get the job was because I was too visionary. And I kind of stomped around the house and, I was pouty. I'm like, I'm too visionary. I'm too visionary. And then all of a sudden, something shifted. And I was like, I'm too visionary. And so that, again, was this little seed that was planted years ago that was like visionary. So when I was ready to start my company doing, vision boards, the idea of being visionary had already been planted. That seed had already been planted. But I want to consider, can you be too visionary? I don't think so. But what I do know is that it's so complementary when I have people on my team, which I'm privileged now to have a team that are also researchers, who are also interested in continual learning, who are organizers and pay attention to details. Because as a visionary, I sometimes just want to, give up when I'm asked to redo things or I have to, fully do my research. I'm just one, like, I'm an action taker. You ask me to do something, I dive in feet first and I just go for it. And, you know, I can, someone tells me something, I can right away see the big picture. And I love, obviously, with vision boards, looking ahead and having that visionary outlook. So that's definitely beneficial as a solo entrepreneur. But the other piece of it is that you need to have your books in order. You need to have a program so that your clients can understand what are you offering and how do you do it and how can they pay. So, I mean, if you don't have a structure in place for payment, then it's like the universe can be, knocking on your door, sending you clients, but you have no place for that income to flow. So I wanted to just share that little piece of my story, and that, that was something that I was told a few years ago that I was just too visionary. The other piece around starting Dare to Declare was I began it because I love facilitation. I love coaching and I love doing workshops. And I was privileged to do that in my previous career as a childcare director in early years. And then I led sometimes hundreds with actually a partner, a colleague at the time. Her name is Diane Butler, and she's now moved on to the ministry in that she works as a program advisor. But the two of us, we were able to tour a lot of areas in Southern Ontario and offering workshops and speaking on topics of early years. And then that, again, that love of facilitation morphed into being able to offer my own company, my own workshops, of doing vision board workshops. And so one of the things that I felt compelled to do, and I was so excited, was my husband at the time owned a construction company, and I was able to build a studio on the second floor. And I hired a designer, and she helped me create this cozy, safe space. And I just had a workshop on Saturday. And again, both of the people that were there said how the space made them feel was safe and just the time flew by. We were together for over 6 hours. And at the 5 hour mark, it was like, we've only got an hour left. So, um, the other piece that I found when I was first starting my business was I was worried about, I heard and actually experienced in my own life how things, happen, but I didn't know how to connect all of that to coaching. I didn't know how to connect all of it to my Christian beliefs. And so that was something that I really grappled with at the beginning was I know it works, but how and why? And so really digging into the law of attraction and using again researching, going into the idea of researching and talking. I remember speaking to, at the time, my pastor for my church and asking him about it, and just praying about it and to see, does law of attraction have a place with someone who is a Christian and who believes that God has the plan fully laid out for her. And indeed it does. And what I've discovered, what I get to share with my clients is that creating a vision board is the highest form of thanksgiving and gratitude because you get to live intentionally your best based on the gift that God has given. So, those are some of the things that are the beginning part of my story as I created Dare to Declare. And I just really appreciate you taking time to listen. And if you're beginning something new, or you're in it and you're, already in your business, I'd love to hear your beginning story about what motivated you, maybe what were some of your challenges. If there's anything that you can share that would be helpful to anyone listening here that they could take away and know that they're not alone or that they could learn from as well. So I hope you have a fabulous Monday, a great start to your week, and take care of you. Cheers.